I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much to my Bibliospren, Bibliohowlers, and my Bibliomancers. It means a lot to me that you give me your extra support for my passion and hobby. Hi everyone, Petrik here. For today's video, I'll be talking about all the books that I got last month. In my last April's book haul video, I talked about the possibility of decreasing my book haul videos. And I think moving forward, I might end up doing that. But for now, I will just try to keep it consistent like always, because many of you have voiced your interest in continuing to watch my book haul videos. So yeah, let's get started. Like always, I'll be dividing this into 4 categories, and I think today it is quite a big book haul. It is a big book haul, not gonna lie. I have about 30 books to show today. And let's start from the books that I bought first. Let's start from the first one. This is Talonsister by Jan Williams. This is the first book in the Talon duology. I have been a fan of Jan Williams' books for quite a while now. Love the Winnowing Flame trilogy, and although I do not think this one, the first book, was as good as The Ninth Reign, I still think that it is a great start to a duology. And hopefully, the second book, whenever it is out, will be a strong conclusion to the duology. I have a feeling it will be that way, because the griffins, the characterizations, the world building have all been established, and I think it is time to conclude the duology satisfyingly. And then after that, I got this one. I bought a copy of My Hero Academia Volume 37. Honestly, I haven't read this one. I mean, I have read My Hero Academia. I have read up to the beginning of the final battle, the final war arc, but I haven't read the final war at all. So I think the final war is about nearing its ending. I mean, this cover art, it is badass, but yeah, I haven't started reading the final war yet. I think I will be reading that within this year. If it is ending, if you are caught up to My Hero Academia manga, do not spoil me, but do let me know whether it is about to end or not. For the remaining 3 books that I bought, all of them are actually bought from Book Outlet. They only arrived this month, well, last month, but I bought it actually last year. And this is The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. And yeah, this is the first book in his Dark Materials, and this is the illustrated edition. This entire book, all of them, all the artworks are illustrated by Chris Wormel. And yeah, it is quite a surprise, but I haven't read his Dark Materials yet. I have watched the movie adaptation, The Golden Compass, a long time ago, but I haven't watched the TV adaptation, the one with Lin-Manuel Miranda. But yeah, this edition is beautiful. I have checked some of the illustrations, and yeah, they are all gorgeous, like this one. But I haven't read the book. Hopefully the book will be as good as the supposedly TV show adaptation. But I heard from many people the books are better. So yeah, I think I'll be starting this one as soon as I can. Hopefully I can acquire a copy of the sequel illustrated edition first before I dive into this one. But I got this one really cheap because it was available on Book Outlet. Same for the next 2 books. Oh wait, I just remembered that the next 2 books, I actually bought them from Amazon. So this is A Column of Fire by Ken Follett, the 3rd book in the King's Bridge series. I'm about to start reading Pillars of the Earth. I think it is very likely that I will start reading Pillars of the Earth for the first time next month. I heard nothing but amazing things about King's Bridge series, and well, as you can probably tell, I am one of those readers. When I am very interested in trying out a series, I usually will end up buying the entire series first, and that includes this next one. This is the 5th book in the King's Bridge series, the newest one, The Armor of Light. And yeah, every book in the King's Bridge, they are all so thick. I think this is about 1,000 pages long as well. Oh no, this one is only about 700 pages only. But yeah, Pillars of the Earth, A World Without End, and also A Column of Fire, they are about 900 to 1,000 pages. So if you have read the King's Bridge series, let me know which book in the series is your favorite. And with that in mind, let's move on to the books that were gifted to me. These 2 books, both of them were sent to me by my friend who talked to me plenty of times on Bookstagram. And because I was talking about King's Bridge, this is The Evening and the Morning by Ken Follett. This is the 4th book in the King's Bridge series, but this is a prequel novel to the entire Kingsbridge series by Ken Follett. So I think technically you can start reading the series from here, but as usual, I will try to read from publication order. But I want to say thank you so much to Josh. I will leave the link to his Instagram account in the description down below. But thank you so much to Josh for sending me a copy of The Evening and the Morning, and also the Gormenghast trilogy by Mervyn Peake. So this one consists of the entire Gormenghast trilogy packed into one thick omnibus. And yeah, the first book is Titus Grown, and then Gormenghast, and finally Titus Alone. I heard bizarre and, not gonna lie, mixed things about the Gormenghast trilogy. So I don't know what to expect from these books. Some people told me that if I end up clicking with the writing and also the storytelling, this will end up becoming one of my favorite series. But if I dislike the first book, Titus Grown, I think I will end up groaning reading through the entire trilogy. So let's see what I will think whenever I get around to this. So that's all the books that were gifted to me by my friend. Before I move on to talk about the books that were sent to me by self-published fantasy authors, I want to showcase two books that were sent to me by Gollancz. Well, one book by Gollancz, but the other one by The Broken Binding. So the first one is Coffee Tree by Aman J. Bedi. This is a South Asian-inspired fantasy debut novel. I have been looking forward to reading this one ever since I did the cover reveal for it. I think last year, at the end of last year, either at the end of last year or at the beginning of this year. But either way, I am looking forward to reading Coffee Tree ever since then. Especially because the author have told me that the main inspirations behind this debut novel is a lot of things, a lot of stories that I love, such as Berserk by Kentaro Miura, Vagabond by Takehiko Inoue, and then Kaladin from the Stormlight Archive, Malazan Book of the Fallen, and maybe even Arya from A Song of Ice and Fire. These are all some of my favorite series of all time. I don't know how the author will be able to implement them into his debut novel, but I'm certainly eager to find out how. The book is not too long either. I think it's about 400 pages long and about 120,000 words long. So I think I will get this done quite quickly, and I will read this one next month, in the month of June. And moving on to the next one, this is the only special edition that I got this month, not counting his Dark Materials. And this is The Lies of Lok Lamora by Scott Lynch, one of my favorite books. And finally, I have the hardcover edition thanks to the Broken Binding. And yeah, this features the original cover art, the original UK cover art, and now it comes with this Edges by Katrina Paints, and at the back there is the code clutch 1, then run, clutch twice, get hung. But inside we have this beautiful end paper by Fran Vegas, and at the back as well, this is by Fran Vegas as well. And yeah, I think other than that, this is signed by Scott Lynch, and here we have the foiled, illustrated by Katrina Payne as well. The same illustrator behind the edges and the top edges, and also this one. So overall, I'm really thrilled with this acquisition. I cannot wait for the reveal of the next subscription. Not gonna lie, I think many of you will be thrilled with that. That's all I can say about it. Considering that this is the month of May already, I think the Broken Binding will reveal the next subscription most likely at the end of this month. Most likely, I have no idea. This is just my prediction. Now let's move on to talk about the self-published fantasy books that I got. And I have a lot of self-published fantasy books in the month of April. And the first three, many of you will know about this from my TBR and my wrap-up videos. These are The Blood and Steel Saga by Ize Press. So this is for, let's start with the first book, The Fangs of War, beautiful cover art. And then the second book, The Horns of Grief. This I will start it most likely within this month. And finally, The Crown of Omens. This is the prequel novella that I just finished reading last month. Overall, this is a great grimdark stories. I gave the first book and the prequel novella, both of them, a 3.5 out of 5 stars. They are good, but nothing amazing yet. I heard the best book in the series is The Horns of Grief. So hopefully that will end up coming true. All the beautiful cover art to this series, they are all illustrated by Diego Spezzoni. And yeah, check out his portfolio. I think he's doing some incredible art. Onward to the next one, we have the sequel to The Dance of Light by Gregory Kantasis, a Greek-inspired epic fantasy series. And this is The Fall of the Giants. Yeah. And as you can see, the cover art here, this one, I think it is a bit reminiscent of The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, because this features a really, really big dragon. Look at that. The cover art is done by Miblard, but I haven't read anything by Gregory Kantasis yet. As I always mention, and as you can probably tell, I have a lot of review requests, and I'm about to prove that even more with the next 10 books I'm going to show, because the next 10 books, they are all from the group called The Break-Ins. The Break-Ins is basically a group of self-published fantasy and sci-fi authors, all of them debuting within this year. And I think it is a great thing that they are joining together to form a community and a group among themselves. It is always healthy to do that. Most of the time it is healthy. And well, I'm going to show you the books that I got. Let's start from the first one. This is Spark of the Divine by Louis Holland. I don't know too much about this. I heard a lot of great things about this one from my friend. I think some of you might have seen her comment on my YouTube channel many times. Her name is Esme, and she is a blogger with probably the fastest reading speed ever, because she reads about 300 books per year. Yeah, not gonna lie, 300 novels per year. And she said a lot of amazing things about Spark of the Divine. And so I'm looking forward to reading this, the first book in the Kalarak Chronicles, eventually. I don't know when, but I will say though, out of all the books that I got from the Break-In box, this one and the next one I'm going to show are probably the one that have my interest the most at the moment, because the way I decide which books I read, well, it is usually decided on my reading mood. And right now my reading mood is either on Spark of the Divine or The Elements of Time. The Winds of Change by Sam Paisley. The cover art is done by Jeff Brown. And I think, based on the blurb here, and also very high average ratings, even though not too many people have read and reviewed The Winds of Change yet, but based on what I know so far, I think this one it will have a premise of a portal fantasy. So characters from our world, but being transported into a fantasy world. It has been a while since I've read a portal fantasy series, or isekai in Japanese. But yeah, it has been a while since I've read that kind of stories. And the positive things about The Elements of Time, Winds of Change, people have said in their reviews that the magic system is reminiscent of Brandon Sanderson's Heart Magic system. That's usually a plus for me. I know that it can be a minus for some readers, but I, as a fan of both Soft and Heart Magic system, this is a plus for me. So right now, my mood is leading toward reading this one and also Sparks of the Divine. But who knows, maybe the next 8 books will somehow rise to the top of my TBR pile. And the next one is The Mushroom Blues by Adrian M. Gibson. This is, I think, a murder mystery cyberpunk story. Yeah, I think based on the premise, I think it is mentioned that this is true detective in a cyberpunk world. I love True Detective, and I love watching and reading cyberpunk stories as well. So yeah, hopefully this one will be good for me. And you know, I heard many great things about this one. I mean, this book is blurred by Nicholas Eames and also Adrian Tchaikovsky and many other authors as well, with very positive praises. And yeah, the cover art is done by Felix Ortiz, and yeah, it is a very, very blue cover art with a lot of mushrooms. See, this one is mushroom, and then at the back, you cannot see this, but in the full spread cover art, you can see there are plenty of mushrooms in the cover art. So yeah, Mushroom Blues. And speaking of Felix Ortiz, the next cover art is illustrated by Felix Ortiz as well. This is Pet Lighter by Rob Lee. Beautiful cover art, love the fire, and also this character as a focal point of a cover art. And yeah, I don't know too much about Pet Lighter, but I think the main character is James in a high fantasy world. So unless this is a portal fantasy, that is an odd name for a main character in an epic fantasy, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, I look forward to reading this someday. And then I also got The Rest to the Gods by Joshua Walker. This is a prequel novella to his upcoming main novel, which I spotlighted in my SFF Spotlight videos, as some of you have mentioned that the cover art reminded you of the Lifa tree from Final Fantasy IX, the Yggdrasil from Norse mythology, and also some have even mentioned Elden Ring, yeah, the Earth tree. So yeah, I think I would try reading this first. This is a very, very short novella. It is about 100 pages long, but I think I will read this only after the first book, the debut novel by the author, is out first. But yeah, I will try to get this one as soon as I can. Onward to the next break-in book. This is Elegy of a Fragmented Vineyard by Kaden Love. If you are active on Twitter and also on Bookstagram, you might have seen, or even on TikTok, you might have seen this debut novel popping up sometimes. And yeah, this is a grimdark novel about, I think, about a character that is forced to harvest organ from infants to get powers. If I'm not mistaken, that is the premise of an Elegy of a Fragmented Vineyard. Other than that, I don't know too much about this grimdark novel. I apologize, but as I said, I have a lot of review requests, and sometimes I don't have the chance yet to actually peruse the premise of each book that I got. Like this one, The Forsaken Planet by Brian Wilson. I don't know too much about this. This is the first book in Power of the Stars, but this is a sci-fi novel, and it is similar to this one as well. This is Molten Flux by Jonathan Weiss. I've been in the mood for sci-fi books lately, thanks to reading the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio and also The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. So it is always good to have a stock of sci-fi books. I think many of you will know from my book haul videos that I own many more fantasy books compared to sci-fi books and historical fiction, even though I actually love reading sci-fi and historical fiction as well. So yeah, it's good to have more sci-fi books in my arsenal to choose. And the last break-in books that I got, these are Stone and Sky by Z.S. Diamanti. And I don't know too much about this, but well, the character is riding a griffin, and that's always a plus in my book. And at the back here, this is the prequel, I think, collection of short stories that takes place before the events of Stone and Sky. So yeah, thank you so much to the break-in group for sending me all these 10 books to read and review. I don't know when I will get around to them. I have mentioned it to them, and they still insisted on sending me review copies, and I will be thankful. And they are responsible on why this book haul video is so huge. And the other reason is because of Ize Press. And I am always thankful to Ize Press for sending me many books, yeah, and all of them are manga or manhwa. Most of the time manhwa, and I love reading manga and manhwa. So let's start by showing this one. This is The World After the Fall, Volume 5. I have read 3 volumes in The World After the Fall. I have surprisingly really enjoyed my time with reading The World After the Fall. The first 3 volumes anyway. The third volume actually ended with a crazy cliffhanger, and it's quite a surprise that I haven't finished reading Volume 4 yet. But I will try to do that as soon as I can. But the illustrations behind The World After the Fall, see, I just opened it and it looks so beautiful. I mean, this is the same studio behind the one who did Solo Leveling, one of my favorite manhwa of all time. And speaking of Solo Leveling, I finally have a copy of the 8th volume of Solo Leveling. And yeah, I mean, take a look at this cover art. This is badass. Look at Sung Jin Woo here. I don't know whether many of you watch the anime adaptation of Solo Leveling. I recommend you to do that, and it is a great adaptation, but I still think the manhwa is still better. The illustrations in the manhwa, they are just so stunning, and also something about the pacing in this series, it made the manhwa so unputdownable. It is so engaging, so addictive, and I think it is the type of story where the main character is super powerful, but it is done right. Love this one very much, and as I always say, I want to collect the entire Solo Leveling in its physical format. And I'm quite surprised by how far the story have progressed in 8 volumes. I think the story will actually end in volume 14 or volume 15. That's my prediction anyway. But yeah, other than this, I also got this super highly praised manhwa series or web novel. And yeah, it is Omniscient Reader. Yeah, Omniscient Reader, art by Sleepy Sea and adapted by Umi. Also, Red Eye Studio, the same studio behind Solo Leveling. So this is volume 1 and this is volume 2. I have read this and I really enjoyed it. But I haven't continued much. I think I was at chapter 30 or chapter 40 of the manhwa adaptation. I know the web novel is finished already, and many of you have said a lot of amazing things about the web novel. And who knows, I might end up reading that instead of waiting for the manhwa, because this is taking quite a while. Not only for the manhwa to be adapted into physical volumes, but for the manhwa to actually progress. Yeah, it is taking quite a while, so I might end up reading the web novel. But if you love solo leveling, I do recommend you to check out Omniscient Reader as well. This is one of the most popular manhwa and also web novel right now, and I'm not surprised. And moving on to the next one, I still have 3 more manhwa to spotlight. The next one is the volume 3 of Jungle Juice. This is a superhero story about characters who can adapt the power of a bug and make them much stronger by adapting their abilities. Like the main character can adapt the power of dragonflies to make him stronger and he can fly and all that. I have read only the first volume, and the illustration, this one is not adapted by the same Red Eye Studio, but the illustrations, they are beautiful as well. And I really look forward to continue reading Jungle Juice. And I must say, thank you so much to Ize Press or Yen Press. Ize Press and Yen Press are the same group, but Yen Press are in charge of manga, while Ize Press is in charge of manhwa. So thank you so much to Ize Press for letting me know about Jungle Juice, because they know how much I love My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. And yeah, this is a good comparison. If you love My Hero Academia, I think you will have a great time reading Jungle Juice as well. Without Ize Press, I wouldn't have known about this one. And then I heard about this from one of my viewers, and this is Unholy Blood. Yeah, this is a webtoon, originally a webtoon, but there is a physical format for it now. And I think this is a vampire story, but this is not the vampire story like Twilight. Like, this is a serious and dark one. And I don't know, I haven't read this one yet, but I look forward to it. You know, if you are into webtoon, there are a lot of great webtoons, and I think this might be one of them. And finally, the last book that I got, the last manhwa that I got, this is Business Proposal Volume 4. Every time I talk about this, I know it is very different from the kind of books that I showcase on my YouTube channel. This is a romantic comedy, and I watch the K-drama. But, you know, well, this one is something that you can shut up your brain and just enjoy it, you know. And you can see these 2 characters here. Look, so adorable. And yeah, I have watched the K-drama. I haven't really read all the manhwa volume yet. It is finished now, but who knows? I would try to read this one sometimes when I feel like I'm in the mood for it. But these are all the books that I got from Yen Press or Ize Press. There are some other books, but I haven't opened them from the box yet, so I will feature them on my next book haul video. But for now, these are all the books that I got in the month of April. And yeah, this is a big book haul video, 30 books in total. And do let me know what you think about the books that I got in the month of April. And also I want to say thank you so much to all publishers and also self-published fantasy and sci-fi authors who send me review copies to read and review. I will never take any of them for granted. So yeah, that's it for me today. Let me know how many books you got last month and which one was your favorite acquisition. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.